Terry has spent his whole life as part of an electric cooperative and launched his career at the very cooperative that served his childhood home.
So I grew up on a farm, and we had a co-op there, a public power district, that served our farm. And when I was in college, they posted a job for a co-op student at the co-op, and I applied for it. And of course, knowing the ins and outs of being on a REA system back then, they hired me to be, in 1988, to be a co-op student at the co-op. So I worked that summer and then the next semester, and then went back to school. And the deal was, if I took the job, that I would stay with them for at least 5 years after I graduated as the electrical engineer for the co-op there.
Fate brought him from the northern plains to the Midwest.
I chose to come to MEC, or Fruit Belt, at the time that I came here, and I was just looking for opportunities. And I'd been 5 years of experience in Nebraska at the rural electric there, and I looked in the magazine. Believe it or not, back then you didn't go online to find jobs. You didn't. There was no Monster, Indeed, or anything. You looked in the back of the magazine. There was a posting for Fruit Belt Electric for a engineering manager, and I shot a resume off to him.
Terry's role started with facing and overcoming a significant challenge.
My first day I walked in, and there was stacks and stacks of books on my desk. And I'm looking at the guys and I'm going, what the world is all this? And they go, well, I don't know. Mark Stallin's put that here for you. And so I started looking at it, and it was outage reports. So I was hired to come here and fix a reliability problem. And my job was to look through all these outage reports, and there was years and years of them, and figure out what was wrong and what we had to do to fix it. And so, we started working on wire that was bad, and replacing that, and replacing poles, and trying to figure out coordination problems that we had. And of course, through my 30 years later looking back, I realized that trees were our biggest problem. They always have been, and I'm not sure why, but trees grow faster here than anywhere except the Amazon.
His passion and dedication to delivering reliable, trustworthy electric service continued in various roles where he was involved in every aspect of electric operations. But then came another big challenge, not just for MEC, but for Terry too.
Then we got into the internet business, the fiber to the home business, in 2013, and at that time I was my job changed to CTO, or Chief Technology Officer, to get that line of business up and running. And so I changed all my focus from electric to internet fiber.
Over the years, his roles continued to evolve until most recently he became our CEO.
My role as CEO, is obviously overseeing the entire company and making sure that we're doing all the things that the members need, and the board of directors say, this is the strategic direction that we have to go.
Terry has helped shape MEC through his career, but one thing sticks out to him as the biggest change he's experienced here.
So the biggest changes I've seen since I started here in 1995, 30 years later, is the technology that we use, and how the data that we have, the information that we have. When we started, there was no cell phones. We had maps on paper in our trucks and a radio. That was the only communication we had, and everything was on paper. We had books in, the customer books, and everything was printed. We didn't even have computers when I started here.
He's created some lifelong memories along the way and takes pride in MEC overcoming obstacles and solving problems for customers.
The memories that you remember, the things that really stick in your mind, started with something bad happening. So obviously getting into the fiber to the home and hooking up our first fiber customer and seeing how excited people are, those are great memories. But a lot of times it started with something bad that happened. So you either had a bad storm, and your best memory is getting that last customer back on, and exceeding expectations, trying to really dive in and get those things accomplished. And we had a substation burned to the ground one time, and your memories, that next couple of weeks were horrible, but the end, when we rebuilt a substation in 10 days and got people's power back on, it was, those are the memories that I remember the most. And
so if you're considering spending the next 30 years of your life at MEC, Terry has these words for you.
Anybody that's considering coming to MEC, I would say it's a fantastic place to be. I mean, it really is. And like I said, it's got great pay and benefits, but the variety of work, the rewarding feelings you have from doing a great job and taking care of customers, I said it's really great.
Thank you, Terry, for everything you've brought to MEC and our customers. You embody our vision of creating vibrant, relevant, and sustainable rural communities. We know you'll continue to make us better.